And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. If you found this video, you're interested in the top 5 animals in gaming history. So without further ado, start the video. Sorry, my esteemed colleagues, but as you could probably tell, I was feeling a little bit primal. So today we're going to look at my top 5 animals in gaming history. My name's Clevr, and let's dig in. Right off the bat, I would feel remiss in my duties if I didn't include the animal who really started it all, Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot came to PlayStation in 1996 and made his mark on the gaming world in ways that are still seen today. Just recently, the Insane Trilogy Remastered Edition was released, much to the joy and excitement of nostalgic 90 kids everywhere, myself included. Why is Crash in my top 5 animals in gaming history, though? Glad you asked. Aside from being one of PlayStation's true original mascots and revitalizing the platform genre in a 3-dimensional space, Crash Bandicoot is one of the craziest off-the-wall characters ever to reach mainstream gaming audiences. Just think for a moment if you had to try to explain Crash Bandicoot to someone who has no prior knowledge to the gaming series. Well, yeah, he's a bandicoot. What's a bandicoot? It's like a fox wombat thingy, and he goes around fictional land collecting apples in boxes that are called Wumpa fruit? No, I don't know why they aren't just called apples. Anyways, he is friends with a talking witch doctor mask that can protect him from taking damage?
An evil greater than even yours threatens to destroy this world.
Yeah, it's not exactly the easiest sell in the gaming world, which kind of makes it amazing that this game ever got greenlit, but thank goodness it did. Originally named Willy the Wombat that is, Naughty Dog settled on Crash Bandicoot as a name after pondering even more or less than apt names such as Wez or Wuzzle the Wombat. Don't even get me started on Ozzy the Otzel. Now that's not a joke, that was a serious consideration for the name of Sony's mascot to be. After all the dust settled, Crash was born, and the people were blessed with a tight platformer that handles as well as any other game at the time. He had a lineup of impressive and memorable bosses to defeat, with his main nemesis being Dr. Neo Cortex, who had his own talking voodoo mask, bent on taking over and destroying the world.
The Bandicoot has brought all of the crystals and all of the gems to me. Ultimate power is mine. The world as we know it is about to end.
Using a variety of vehicles and his own 2 legs, Crash makes his way through a various amount of different areas comprised of different levels, concluding in a boss fight to progress through the game. With time trials and multiple collectibles, Crash found a way to keep young fans and teens alike occupied for hours a day. And that right there is why he's on my list. As a humorous, over-the-top PlayStation mascot, Crash did his job and did it well, as it's very, very hard to say where the genre of platforming would be without his cute little orange face spinning around, smashing boxes and foiling the plans of ancient deities, parading and masking an alliance with an evil genius with an abundance of mercenaries at his disposal. Now, before there was Crash, there was another just as important animal to grace the presence of gamers in the early 90s. I speak, of course, of the now infamous Sonic the Hedgehog. While Sonic has struggled, to say the least, since making the leap to the 3D space, the interest and sales of every game since 1991 are a testament to how good and amazing the early Sonic the Hedgehog games were. Sega essentially created the genre of speed-based platforming when they created Sonic, and it gave gamers exactly what we always wanted: the chance to go fast! No longer was platforming a slow and cumbersome task with precision jumps and convoluted controls. Sonic was so simple and clean, allowing players to jump and attack with a single button, while flying through the levels collecting shiny rings at a blazing fast speed. The rings served as a form of health, but the sound they make collecting them really made it worth it, no matter if you got a health boost or not. You didn't have to be a highly skilled gamer to enjoy the game for once. Using spring slopes and loop-de-loops, you could run or, more often, roll through an area avoiding enemies or hazards. The fact he is the main protagonist of the original games means he's a surefire pick for my top 5 animals in gaming history. His main antagonist is Dr. Robotnik, a man as evil as he is egg-shaped, and that is to say, very. Using robots seemingly powered by innocent forest creatures in an effort to collect the Chaos Emeralds, it's up to Sonic to put a halt on Dr. Robotnik's dastardly plans and ensure that the world is safe for at least another day. Sonic, to me, will always be the 2D side-scrolling platformer I grew up playing, and no amount of horrible cash-ins thrown in my face since the leap to 3D will ever sully the taste of greatness this game has left in my mouth. The early games inspired elements in multiple other games for years, and the profound effect Sonic has had on the gaming world can still be felt and seen today, more than 20 years after its inception. Now, hear me out. Third on the list is somewhat of a controversial pick, as this is the only animal who is not the main character of their game on this list. However, that certainly does not detract from their importance. I speak of the brave horse, Roach, from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The Witcher series is one of my favorite series in video game history. I could do a whole video just on each game. But the third game is largely considered the best in the series, and even considered one of the best games ever made. So why Roach? Why this horse, you may ask? Simple. Allow me to tell you a tale of the olden days. I speak of RPGs from a time forgotten. RPGs where you were forced to walk or jog with a soft J, from location to location at a snail's pace, sometimes needing to double back and return to the place you've already been, over and over. It's absolutely maddening. Please, just let me run faster, you yell. But, nay! No pun intended. Well, not in this game. No matter where you reside, Roach is always just a whistle away, showing up like a bad case of herpes seemingly out of nowhere. Now, there have been other horses in video games, so let me finish, please, before you start ripping apart my video based solely on the fact I can ride a horse summoned out of thin air by a whistle. While riding Roach, you can still attack while on the move. Roach serves as a makeshift power booster as well. Time a sword swing just right on horseback, and you will leave your enemies' heads rolling on the ground like misplaced bowling balls. But perhaps most importantly, for those who still doubt Roach's greatness, hear me out. Lend me your ears, people. He carries all of your shit. As a longtime hoarder in video games, I'm sure, no, absolutely positive, most of you can relate to this in modern RPGs that limit you in how much you can carry before becoming overburdened. We have no idea what we may or may not need on our adventures, and perhaps that broken wood training sword will serve a higher purpose in an upcoming quest. I can't possibly part ways with this silver candlestick I found in the mound of corpses I may or may not have been responsible for back in the last town. Fear not, as Roach can be equipped with hefty saddlebags that can accommodate the needs of even the most obsessed hoarders in RPGs. As a guy who always carries a replacement set of armor and at least 2 backup swords, Roach has been a godsend and saved me hours of heartache by carrying my largely useless piles of junk that I more than likely will never use in any single way. For that, Roach, I am thankful. Alright guys, buckle up, this next one's a doozy. Next on the list is an animal who holds a special place in my heart yet again. And that is because his games were amongst the first I ever played fully to 100% completion. I felt compelled to make this list largely because of the Sly Cooper series. But have no worries, my friends. This list doesn't have Sly Cooper in it, because as much as I love his character, there is another more deserving character from the series.
His name is John Cena!
No, not John Cena, for pity's sake. I'm talking about the mastermind of the Cooper Gang's illustrious heist, Bentley. Bentley is a turtle whose quick wit has saved his and his friends' lives multiple times. The Cooper Gang's dynamic is as follows. You have Sly Cooper, the thief, the Murray, working as the brawn of their operations, and Bentley working as the brains. Bentley is one of the most intelligent characters in their universe, and also one of the most loyal characters in video game history. His bond with Sly and Murray is unbreakable, and even when tempted with fame, money, and power, he refuses to betray his friends. He's the type of Robin Hood anti-hero we can all get behind and respect. In the first game, Bentley stays out of the field, deciding to assist Sly via radio from the gang's safe house. In the second game is where Bentley really begins to shine. He decides it's time to step out into the field and assist Sly as a playable character. This ultimately results in a leg injury, causing him to be confined to a wheelchair. This is a children's game, mind you, and I'm still not over it. However, with the loss of his legs, Bentley grew as an even bigger asset to the gang. By the third game, he had a wheelchair that was pimped out, allowing him to reach places he never could before in previous games, with the assist of jet boosters that he installed personally, but also with the installation of a makeshift pickpocket device. Bentley became possibly the most well-rounded character in the field on missions, as he was able to steal coins and valuables from guards, use ranged attacks and gadgets that Sly and Murray couldn't use, and traverse the levels almost as well as Sly. If you need to hear more of Bentley's resume, consider the fact that, aside from being a mastermind of all of the gang's heists, he's also a skilled hacker and explosives expert. With his character development going from a nervous, insecure turtle to a competent, self-assured asset to his team, he demonstrates the deepest development of any of the characters in this series by far. What gets him on my list, though, is his devotion to his family and friends, even stating that he wished he could be Sly, but understood he couldn't be him and knew his role on the team was just as valuable.
Well, yeah, I wish I wasn't in this chair. I wish I could run on tight ropes and jump on flagpoles and all that stuff, but I can't.
Bentley was willing to stay out of the spotlight so the series' namesake, Sly Cooper, could shine, and he never let his ego affect his team's dynamic. Oh, and if you need any more reasons to see how baller Bentley is, and how highly he is regarded by Sly Cooper entrusts Bentley with his family's legacy, the Thievius Raccoonus, which, in case you don't know, is the ultimate tool for any aspiring thief. Essentially, it is a notebook with all of the thieving tricks Sly and his ancestors developed throughout history. Bentley, if they never make another Sly Cooper game, just know you will always have a place right here in my top 5 list and gamers' hearts all around the world. And last on my list at 5, to round out the top 5, in no particular order, mind you. Guys, let's be honest. If this video blows up, the 5th and final spot on this list is going to be attacked because someone is going to be left off of this list. No matter what name I say next, someone will be angry that their favorite animal in gaming was not placed in this top 5. With that in mind, I present to you a game that truly shook up YouTube and the rest of the world. Okay, that may be a bit of a stretch, but nonetheless, I choose you, Alfred. Who is Alfred? Why, Alfred is the name of my pet chicken that I created, nurtured, and watched grow in the hit Flash game, Can Your Pet? While the game only lasted about the entirety of 3 minutes, my heartache is eternal. If you've never seen or played this game, I highly recommend you give it a look. It's free and takes very little time to get through. The ending is truly a memorable one, to say the least, and let's be honest, could this list have ended any other way? But what do you think? Did I leave out your favorite animal? What does your list look like? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. It was very fun to make, and I may do others if you guys want me to. Also, please subscribe for more nonsensical content. And with that, I bid you adieu, a fond farewell until we meet again. Because we will meet again. You and I in the next video. Bye-bye.